The reigning champs on NBC Sports California, powered by Holiday White. Porzingis back from that in Sacramento, winning the earlier one back in January. The Southern California Hoopers. Inside, Porzingis wasn't ready for the pass. Holiday with a quick three, and he laces that one. The first thing is down this year.
Yeah, Drew Holiday, I mean, he's career, he's a phenomenal three-point shooter, about 37 in 16 years. As DeMar not able to get that little jumper to go, but Holiday shooting a career low from beyond the arc.
Been dealing with a shoulder injury for part of the season. Brown.
And he got a deep seal, and Kings got in foul trouble early.
This time it's Levine on Jaylen Brown, the reigning finals MVP. Lays it home back in Northern California, where he played his collegiate basketball just down Interstate 80 at Cal Berkeley. Levine, Murray off the lift. And he swishes the
knock down that early three, really important in terms of getting things going from a synergistic standpoint for the Kings.
Porzingis inside with the putback.
Nice help and dig down there by Zach LaVine to make him have to operate in space in a crowd.
With Sabonis back in the ball game, the opportunity for the Kings to rake and take off the glass. Murray another three. Butter.
Saw the pass out, his kick out to DeMar. As soon as he let it fly, skipping it to the other side, Domas so excited about the ball movement and the open look.
Brown drives it on Sabonis, back out to Tatum. His three off the mark, and it's rebounded by Domas. This is a part of the offense that the Kings have really missed. Sabonis adding a little bit of pace with his...
Did there, wide open look again for Keegan.
Zach LaVine inside, tried to dump it off Sabonis. Got
in terms of playmakers,
right.
and Domas has missed segments of time.
Points per game off of elbow touches. Gives the squad so much at that end of the floor, not to mention his relentless rebounding. Good full court pressure. Murray comes up with the theft. And an extra possession for the Kings. Sabonis on the attack. Out to Murray, drives the closeout. Porzingis switched on to him. Here's Sabonis. DeMar walks into the three.
And by the way, did you see what Domantas Sabonis did there on the handoff? He also set a little ghost screen as well to be able to free up that shot. DeMar not able to knock it down, and Porzingis on the other end can't connect either.
Another rebound for Sabonis, brings it across. Hands it off to DeRozan. Nice hit feed inside. Sabonis got it to go with the offhand.
And you got the small on Domas down low. You're patient, draw Porzingis out, and an easy dump down pass.
Boy, that's the type of energy and pace that you love to see from the Kings early in the ballgame at the offensive end. Tatum on the backdoor cut.
The contact was, but nonetheless, Celtics at the
candidate. Not just his scoring, his defending, and the way that he is manipulating the game at the offensive end, his rim season. Murray will bring it up against Derek White. Celtics have two All-NBA, All-Defensive players on the team. Murray got the second one to go. Keegan Murray was 8 quick points. Brown on the wing. A steal by Ellis. Steps through. You've got to watch. Ellis coming off one of his better scoring previous game against Milwaukee, ended up with 20. Doug Christie was actually lamenting the fact, Katie, that he didn't play Keon a little bit more down the stretch.
Well, I think it's difficult when you're missing so many different guys and you've got a different starting lineup. It seems like every other night due to injury and the illness that's been going through the locker room for Doug to really...
Games in the month of March. Hey, don't miss out on tonight's...
I feel like it's got to be a little bit about maybe keeping him out of situations where, you could potentially re-injure that ankle.
I'm old enough to remember when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would do that on free throws, just hang out at the other end.
You're so young.
Thank you, Katie. You're a little late in coming there, okay?
I know, so sorry. The reply was, I was doing the math. I'm so sorry. And it's not my strong suit, yes.
DeRozan arrived to the game tonight in a lowrider and laid that in. Sabonis again off the glass. Taking it 94 feet. Tip out to Levine. Cross court to Murray. Pulls another three. And here's Holiday bring it up for the Celtics, who trail by 6.
Watch Keegan Murray hustling back. He was the shooter gets back and stops Tatum bringing the ball, and the Kings with another defensive stop and pushing the pace, I think, is a great idea against this defense.
LaVine likes this matchup against Pritchard, but he's a good defender. Knocked it away. That's the first turnover for Sacramento. And the conversion at the...
Yeah. Go ahead, step out of the way. Don't risk another foul. He's already picked up a foul here early.
Rosen off the double drag. Turns the corner on Holiday. Passes inside. Drew the contact. Count it. In both offensive and defensive ratings. Sabonis. Tatum goes quickly against Murray. Back out to Pritchard. That might be the sixth man of the year this year, folks. Peyton, the previous run, knocks down the three.
Yeah, there are a few great candidates. I feel like we've seen a lot of them here recently as well during this homestand.
DeRozan against Porzingis. Out to Ellis. Step back with a long two, falls. Keon Ellis with his second field goal. He's got 5. That one comes off to Sabonis, who's racking up the rebounds already. He's got 7 of them. Back out to DeRozan. Rejects the screen, guarded by Brown. Got him in the air. Wonderful step through by DeMar.
Moves so calm. You cannot speed him up. And he just uses the fundamentals to destroy you.
Tatum inside for Brown. It's picked off by Murray. Boy, Keegan Murray has been impregnable defensively. LaVine. And rebounded by Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown been dealing with a sore knee of late. Jake LaRavia getting ready to come into the ball game as Tatum pulls the three. A little bit strong. He's right around 35% on the season.
And crazy, he also is shooting a career low in terms of percentage, but he is shooting over 10 a game, which the volume is also a career high. So it's evening out. You've gotta understand that that is so much a part of his offense.
That's the guy Sacramento has to get going right now, is Zach LaVine. He's only taken 2 shots here in the first quarter. DeRozan went for the fake into Holiday. One more to Tatum. Open 3, lined up the seams and laces and knocks it down.
The ball movement by Boston, but I want to point out the defensive effort, not just the first effort, but the second effort there by DeMar DeRozan, making Jaylen Brown have to give up that 3, but he kicked it to an open Tatum.
Sabonis off the mark on the 3. Remember the first game between those two teams? Everybody was surprised that Sabonis made all those 3. He appeared to be moving pretty well out there. Not much different from his normal gait or movement pattern. LaRavia with a quick 3. LaVine couldn't keep it in play.
His lateral movement isn't going to be maybe as top tier as maybe he can be with that ankle.
Oh, wonderful in and out dribble by Tatum, but he missed the layup.
Screens at him, and his ability to maneuver and the defense as they adjust. He went through so much traffic right now. I mean, you look at some of the stuff offensively that Boston runs, and it is truly matches their talent, right? They utilize every ounce of talent that they have.
Lead is down to 3, not for long. Murray fights over the screen, trying to stay with Tatum. He snakes it. The midi comes up a little bit short, rebounded by Zach LaVine. Quick hit ahead to LaRavia. He's going to be trapped, and they turn him over in the corner. Christie calling for a foul. No whistle on the play. Pritchard with the spin. Fournette over to Holiday. And that comes off to Valanciunas. Sacramento looking to push, and JV taking it off the glass and pushing it on the dribble.
For JV.
As if Domas can do it, I can do it too. He sold the ball fake real well. LaVine inside Valanciunas. Everything but the bucket. LaRavia kept it alive to Murray. Murray comes off to Tatum. Sacramento with a couple of good opportunities. Pritchard now in the front court. Empty corner 2-man game. Pritchard has it rim out to JV. Now Christie making the call. They're going to run a little bit of elbow action here. Man, Cornette just pounding Valanciunas with his arms in his chest. Murray has a mismatch over Pritchard, and that rims out. But Keegan Murray active offensively, hunting shots. He's 3 for 7.
Very active offensively, and it says a lot about how much work he's having to do on this end of the floor.
Cornet inside off the great time from talking about Tatum's playmaking ability a moment ago. You saw it right there. Keon Ellis slips in on the screen to get the
Valanciunas.
Sacramento up to 48% from the field. 16 paint points so far against 8 for the Celtics. Tatum. Boy, how did that pass get through to Holiday?
We've seen.
He's run some split action. Here's DeMar. Rejects the screen. And missing the midi. Rebounded by White. Sacramento with 48% from the field so far. Porzingis checked back into the ball game during the break. Valanciunas lost his balance on that closeout. He's limping a little bit. White. One more to Jaylen Brown. Lost the handle, got it back. Porzingis at the free throw line. And
During the month of March, the Celtics are 10-1.
oh, did we mention they're on a 5-game?
And then they're started up this current 5-game winning streak.
DeRozan inside. Valanciunas couldn't make the catch. And Derek White with it off the turnover. That's the 5th giveaway so far for Sacramento. Pritchard. Brown with imperious drive on the baseline.
As he put the ball on the deck.
Jaylen Brown doing what he's doing at the time of the year when a lot of our Muslim in the spirit and the soul. 9-0 scoring run. Brown had it knocked away. Good defense that time by LaRavia.
He just continues to impress me on the defensive end.
Markelle Fultz with the left. Coming up a little bit short. Pritchard on the move. Brown walks into the 3. And rebounded by the Kings. Sacramento down by 4. DeRozan off to a rather slow start. Just 4 points on a couple of field goals. That line drive never had a chance. Valanciunas out to DeRozan. Fultz. Markelle shot that with confidence and knocked.
In this game, Keegan Murray with the other 2, and those came early in the first quarter.
Boy, look at LaRavia sticking to Jaylen Brown. Great defense. The Kings in transition. Pardon me, in rotation. Good contest on the Porzingis 3, and it comes off to Fultz. LaRavia with room service.
Far in his role coming off the bench.
Does so many things at both ends of the floor. As a cutter and spacer, offensively. Tenacious defense right now on Brown as White misses the 3. Rosen will bring it across. Sacramento up by a point. Sabonis getting ready to come back into the game. Empty corner 2-man game. Boy, DeRozan having a tough start off.
A heavy load, and his legs look a little bit, you know, affected by that at the moment.
Brown off the wide pin down. Back out to Porzingis, into the top 5 defenses in the NBA, the Boston Celtics. Sabonis off the feet from Fultz. Baseline cut by Lyles. DeRozan spins and fires. Finally it falls.
Well, if the shot's not falling from the mid-range, get in that paint, get to the rim. He finishes so well down low.
He's up to 6. Fultz got stuck on Porzingis. Shot clock at 6. White inside. Good contest and a better shot by Doug Christie having a spirited, impassioned conversation with one of the officials about the last non-call. DeRozan pulls. Front rimmed it again.
Yeah, he's just short today.
Here's Pritchard. Drives it on Lyles. Peyton Pritchard with a wonderful fake. Got the lay with the left. And Boston back up by 1. He is fearless. Driving into the paint. Arabia out to Sabonis. And that's going to be a block ball game for him. Here's DeRozan. Sabonis flips the screen for DeMar, and another one on the front rim. Put the second one home.
When you know you're shooting a little bit short, then you also know that you can go straight to the offensive glass there, and he's stuck with it and gets the bunny.
White snakes the screen. Cornette with a catch and the layup inside. Tell you what, Luke Cornette and Elias Cada and Porzingis give the Celtics a great rotation at the 5 game.
They absolutely do. And, you know, talking to the broadcast team earlier, they really, really love Looney.
Fultz another three. He's been putting in the work with assistant coach Ricky Foy.
The best thing about him is that when he comes in, and his minutes might be sparse, and he might play a bunch as the Celtics answer back with a triple on the other end. He might play a bunch during the course of a couple games. It doesn't matter how long it's been. He steps in and he's confident. He doesn't hesitate. He knows where the shots can come from. He knows the difference between a good and a bad shot, and he makes great decisions.
Sabonis going to work against Cornette. Got him in the air. And
second game in a Mavericks uniform.
Yeah. But they're tied in the loss column with Dallas.
That's where things will likely change, right? That 10 spot is kind of the big question. The other ones seem at this point to kind of be set.
And remember, if you don't already know, 9 plays at home against 10, 7 plays at home against 8. The loser of 7-8.
He's got 11 points, tied with Tatum for the team high.
Here's Zach LaVine. Got to get going here in the second quarter. Might have heard me right there. Zach LaVine.
And that's kind of, you know, what we've seen in this first half is both Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan have kind of struggled offensively. And the Kings holding their own because it's been their defense and the other guys that are contributing on the offensive end.
Tatum missed it off glass. Cornette with the cleanup.
And Domas took a blow to the...
LaVine out top. The wide action. DeRozan comes across, and here's Sabonis, top of the three-point circle. Spins, kicks it back out to DeRozan. Nice pass back to...
Infuriated with the officials. You very rarely see Domantas Sabonis so animated as he's speaking to the officials, and man, was he aggressive on that offensive play.
Holiday from 15. LaVine tapped it to Sabonis. Amos on the sticks, hands it to LaVine, trying to get downhill, but that's an all-NBA defender in Drew Holiday. Back out to LaVine, catch and shoot. Loose ball comes off to the Celtics. Tied at 47. Richard on the wing, guarded by Ellis. Tatum with that high ball screen again, snakes it. Got a little bit of room. That one comes off, tipped up by Cornette, no good. LaVine, one more. Ellis took his eyes off the target and lost the ball. Pritchard slams on the accelerator. Yeah.
I understand what the adrenaline can do, but yeah, you know what? It is the reason why he is one of the leading candidates for Sixth Man of the Year, and he has just been absolutely phenomenal in his role.
LaVine rejects the screen over to DeRozan. Catch and shoot three comes off. LaVine skying for the rebound, got it back. Another opportunity
for defense to continue to hold up against this Celtics offense, because you know they're going to try and go on a little run here to end the half.
Murray trying to stick Tatum. Cornette sprints into the screen. Pritchard open, look for three. Halfway down and out to Ellis. LaVine with a little bit of pace into the front court. Crosses on Shearman. Raises up for the lay. But Christie could use a lot more of that. Just his second field goal. Ellis trying to guard Tatum. Spins away from contact.
That's an unfortunate foul on Domas. I didn't really see where that came from. And already a double-double for Domantas Sabonis. 10 points, 10 boards. Good to have that man back.
DeRozan getting downhill. Got a mismatch against Cornette. Got a little bit of food here. On an island. Defers to LaVine. Shot clock almost expired. And a good defensive sequence that time for Boston. Here's Jason Tatum with 11 points. Make it 14.
Go underneath. Just a great read there by Jason Tatum. And you see how all of that action kind of at the high three, they get so many looks out of that. And it is difficult to maneuver defensively.
Here's DeRozan, rips through on the drive, blocked by Cornet. Tatum leading the break. Pritchard one more to the corner. At three short, rebounded by Murray. And then Sherman with the steal and a beautiful dive.
As of late, I mean, playing in the first half, not something that they have shown very much, but obviously getting the call, and you can see why.
Levine drives it on Tatum. Into the corner, one more to Murray. And